As I film this today, we are on the 1-year anniversary of lockdown here in the UK. And I keep hearing the same thing, obviously, that this year has been absolute hell for a lot of people. But one of the things that keeps coming out is that community seems to have boosted. You know, people have come together as a community to bang on drums, clap outside their doors, laugh at viral videos of, unfortunate Zoom calls going wrong. And that got me thinking that there must be times in history where we've seen other kinds of community spirit in the face of extreme hardship. And obviously we have. The key example being the wartime spirit or the Blitz spirit as well. And it made me think, maybe I could do a recipe from that time period. So I did. I found one that I really liked. And the recipe that I'm doing today, I've picked partly because it encompasses this kind of wartime spirit that I feel society is experiencing a lot of at the moment, but also I just really liked the name. There's nothing bad about the name here. Surprise potato balls. What is not to like? Hello and welcome to The Past is a Foreign Pantry with me, Ellie. And today we are making a World War II recipe called surprise potato balls. Now during World War II, Britain went into rationing, really strict rationing, and we had the Ministry for Food. And one of the jobs of the Ministry for Food was to ensure that people had recipes and the techniques to make the food go further. The Ministry for Food produced documents which encouraged people to use what little they had. And some of these recipes were, fairly standard. And some of them were designed to get people to eat foods that reminded them of the foods they had before World War II started. So there are recipes for mock cream, mock lobster, mock oyster. There's a lot of mock, there's a lot of fake in there. And to help inspire culinary skill in times of hardship, the government also employed the help of some truly terrifying anthropomorphised veg, such as Dr. Carrot and Potato Pete. Potato Pete was depicted as an enormous cap-wearing, broom-chewing potato, merrily leading an army of delighted housewives to culinary salvation. Literally. No one on the advisory body appears to be particularly concerned with Potato Pete's increasingly ominous slogans, such as, "Follow me, madam, I'll show you a thing or two," "Let me be your sweetie," and "The more you serve me, the better I'll serve you." They probably didn't intend for people to say it like that, thinking about it. Potato Pete also appeared in his own recipe book, the Potato Pete Recipe Book, and this was as part of the government initiative to get people to eat at least a pound of potatoes every single day. The trouble with this was that fats were rationed as well, so people could only have 2 ounces of butter or 4 ounces of margarine a week, which meant that Potato Pete had to be pretty inventive. So without further ado, and maybe leaning into the slightly sexual undertones a little bit more than I should do, let me introduce you to Potato Pete's surprise potato balls. To make surprise potato balls, you will need salt and pepper, a teaspoon of chopped parsley, 450 grams, that's about 2 cups of potatoes, 1 large carrot, a little sweet pickle, browned breadcrumbs. Peel your potatoes and chop them in half. Place them in water and bring them to a boil. Cook until they are soft enough to cut with a fork. Drain your spuds and mash them with a fork. Keep going until you get a pretty even, smooth consistency. Peel your carrot and grate it. Place the grated carrot into the mashed potato. Chop your parsley and place that into the mashed potato. Add a fairly liberal sprinkling of salt and pepper and combine. So that's the potato, now for the balls. Roll your potato into the size of balls that fit comfortably in your palm. Lay them out onto a baking tray and make an indent in each one. This is where the surprise is going to go. Spoon about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of pickle into the indent and then close the potato ball. Roll them in breadcrumbs that have previously been toasted. During World War II, this would have been the national loaf, which is a homemade brown loaf. I am lazy and I'm using pre-sliced white bread. Set your oven for 180 degrees Celsius, that's 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Place your potato in the oven and cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, so here they are. They look pretty appetising, and the recipe says that you should serve them with brown gravy, or thick brown gravy, which I have done as Bisto, because Bisto is like a household staple in the UK, and it was definitely around during World War II because it was founded before World War I. The company was, that was. So let's have a look and see how surprising these potato balls are. They don't look dreadful. You can see that there's a really nice kind of Branston pickle centre. And I think, you know, if I was a kid, maybe I would be really delighted with this. But as an adult, I'm slightly put off by it. It reminds me of a donut, but I know that it's not a donut. I mean, fundamentally, there's nothing to dislike here. There's nothing, you know, Branston pickle, tick, nice, you know, sweet, tangy chutney. And mashed potato. It's just mashed potato without any butter. So it's not as rich and or as creamy as I might like my mashed potato. The gravy's decent, but it's, you know, it's bog standard gravy. I could eat this. But I wouldn't serve it to people I like. Put it like that. It's decent for a wartime snack, I'm sure. It's decent if you've got literally nothing else in. But if you are having people over when coronavirus ends, when we can stop with the bloody COVID spirit and go back to being grumpy, miserable bastards, as we all want to be, I would not suggest serving that as your welcome back to normality dinner party meal. It's fine, but it's not gonna blow people away. And I guess that's wartime food. It's healthy, it's nutritious, it's very filling because people, you know, want them to go hungry during war, but it's never gonna blow anyone's socks off. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you would like some more history or you'd like a more detailed version of the recipe, head over to my blog where you can find this recipe and loads of others. Join me for my next experiment on The Past is a Foreign Pantry. Cheers.